Hello and welcome to the Brown Bag. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer, and today we're going to be talking about why we love infographics.
Hi, good morning, Chad. Welcome everybody to the Brown Bag. Boy, we sure love infographics here at HubShout, and so today our research department has started to dig into just why is that? Why do we produce so many? Why do we think they're so useful? Here are some opening statistics. Infographics have been skyrocketing in popularity really over about the last 5 years, fueled by the access to research tools and design tools. They've become much easier to create. And with social media becoming so big in so many people's lives and such a big part of marketing now, that's also fueling the increase. There's an estimate that from 2010 to 2012, the number of searches for infographics in Google has increased by 800%. So that's a very large increase. Digg is also reporting that since 2007, infographic usage has increased by a factor of 250 times. So we've seen a true hockey stick here, Chad, in terms of people searching for infographics as measured in Google as well as in Digg. A few more stats for you. More than 85% of visitors will read the text on an infographic, and that's a lot higher than the percentage who will read just regular text. Interestingly, people are 30 times more likely to read a quality infographic than text alone. So those stats are very complementary. 40% prefer a visual representation of text, and this last stat coming from Forbes say that 90% of the information we remember is based on the visual impact of that information, and of course infographics being visual will drive that imprint. And then the last thing to note here is NPR's Science Friday recently covered the topic of infographics, visual learning, why they're good tools, how to spot ones that are good, and then even covering some of the bad tips that some people use when making bad infographics. So there seems like a lot of data here, Chad. I guess maybe there's some small businesses still not on the bandwagon. I want to talk about that today and why we think they should be joining this trend.
Yeah, and I think for one thing, we know that people have always said that a picture's worth 1,000 words, and I think an infographic is truly that case where it draws you into the story, into the text, and really in a way that just having a bunch of text is hard to do. So let's talk about then why, you mentioned, Adam, why do small businesses, why are they slow to adopt? And I think the main reason for that is because it is a little bit of a tedious process. You have to kind of come together, you have to think of some facts and put together facts that are useful and interesting. And then you have to have a designer who's experienced enough to be able to take those facts and make a picture that tells that story. And so that's a skill that not everyone has. That people that make logos aren't necessarily great at that. It's a different skill set, and many graphic designers don't have it. But let's talk about why people do like them. They do like them because they stand out, and you mentioned a lot of the great stats. They stand out. They make your content more useful and valuable. So you take words and you can add an image to it, and now it really stands out. They're a lot more shareable. We see this a lot where people who are writing blogs outside of your market are much more willing to take an infographic that you've created and embed it in their blog than they are to, for example, just simply link to your story. So we see that infographics are really get a far better share rate than any other type of content, maybe with the exception of video, and they share pretty similar share rates. And then, of course, one of the big opportunities there is that when you do get those shares, you're creating brand awareness. And of course, when you think back, that creates awareness for an audience. But then the other big benefit there is that those shares and that awareness also can earn links back to your website, which is going to help you with SEO. So I think those are the real reasons that we love infographics, and a lot of other people do as well.
Yeah, those are compelling reasons, and I think some people still resist this, Chad, because it feels like they're having to redesign their website to produce an infographic. Several years ago, there was a big push by everyone in the online marketing industry: get a blog, make it helpful, get into content marketing. Most people have answered that call and have adjusted their website so they can easily publish without the help of an IT person or developer a new blog post. I think the pitch we'd make about infographics is, you should be able to do that with your infographic process as well. If it's too cumbersome, you still have more work to do on your website. And I think this is an interesting topic, Chad, because it's sort of blurring the lines of web development even further. The blog was self-publishing. Now we're talking about self-publishing a blog with a graphical element, and it's pulling in the interesting things you'd be writing about. It's pulling in research. If you're doing it right, it's pulling in newsjacking and getting into headlines. And yet you're still able to do this through a self-serve model yourself, or you could outsource it to a service who, again, can do this without involving serious programming help if you've got that process nailed. And you said that. People are probably intimidated by that. But there is a very repeatable process where you can publish very well-researched, defensible, credible infographics that have a stunning visual appeal, but don't break the bank in terms of being able to do this on a repeated basis without involving the whole IT team. At least that's our take, and that's, again, the reasons we love infographics. We'd like to hear from you. Have you used infographics? What was your best infographic? What was the most creative idea you came up with that got the best shares? Did it work for link bait? Did you get backlinks? Did it help your rankings? We'd like to see some of this discussion in the comments. And of course, we're here every day doing the brown bag. We'll hope you join us tomorrow by subscribing to our feed.